What's up, guys? Here, sitting back in the seat, about to watch some water content. Very excited, very excited. I gotta tell you, we have some sexy plays to go over, so it's gonna be very cool, very cool. Um, yeah. So, you guys' comments, by the way, for that profile, just awesome. I mean, Marvin sent this big ass fucking message too. Like while I was at the gym, like right before I was about to hit my top set on like a chest movement, and man, I read that. I swear to God, my head started bobbing. The music was hitting, and I was just like, all right, let's get this shit, man. I'm feeling good. So I appreciate you, Marvin, and everybody. Honestly, like there was a lot of great comments in there, and a lot of support for the video, and a lot of a good good critiques, good questions of like how to change the deck or things you prefer. A couple things, just real quick over the profile. Some things that I didn't play that I want to go over. It's like really really small. So one, I informed of what Droll's purpose was. So I was just so focused on Droll not doing very well that I just said, yeah, it was a hand trap and didn't do anything for me because I opened it with Perulia almost like every time I saw it. Well, the real reason I actually had Droll in my deck wasn't actually to hand trap people. It was more so to actually play around Fluros and just like because I would actually when I was doing test hands and I would do test hands versus Fluros and I had Droll in the hand, I would just Droll myself because you basically Droll yourself. You can manipulate your hand to get so the way I would do the test hands is I would run a hand and I would play normally and then on my first attempt of specialing from the deck or extra deck I would then be aware of Fluros and then I would try and play from there and really it's just like you summon a Deep Sea King, you give him a draw, and then you're done. That's it. It's like so you get like two draws usually. It's like it'll be like a squad and then Deep Sea King. And it's usually squad's fine because squad will get you to Prince, Prince will get you to Shrine, and probably get you a Dragoons, and then you can do some stuff there. Get to a Moulin, you have a full hand, so there's stuff you can do there. But that's what Droll's main purpose was for, and I just never got to see that scenario come up. So, and in that sense too, I am very afraid of Fuluros. I'm still probably the one I'm least comfortable playing around, playing into. And yeah, so I don't know about that guy. All right, that's a tough card. Definitely the hardest card for our deck for this version of the deck to play against. But that's what Droll's purpose was for, and with that in mind, I almost feel like I want to play him again. Maybe Talents is a better option. Maybe Thrust. I don't know. Another card I wasn't playing was like Ice Jade Ran or Gamir. I don't know if I went over Gamir in the profile, but my issue with Gamir was just it's not a bad card. I still like it. I go in and out versus that card versus Chinning. I really wanted to try out Chinning, but Gamir I just find a little bit more defensive, and I feel like there's a lot of like sending and like non-target removal that but like not destruction or banishing. So the Gamir it seems like its value is a little low right now, and I find Chenning kind of cool into the shifter cards because when you get shifted, another really cool thing with with the whole like deep sea combo that I would not typically it only happened once and we'll get to that when we get there, but another really cool thing with like Chenning is Chenning under shifter basically makes every time your opponent activates a card, Chenning is live. And with hand traps like yes Ash Blossom, but mainly it was Ghost Ogre was like the perfect scenario where Ghost Ogre is a hand trap I can't use. So I just normal summon the Ghost Ogre and then synchro with the Deep Sea King. I do my other, under shifter Deep Sea King combo plays, and then also get a free Chenning out the gate with the Deep Sea King and the level 3 tuner. That's another really cool part if I want to play like Ash, Ghost Ogre, and Bell, which I'm kind of looking at right now. Like really, I'm kind of on the fence if I want to try and focus something more engine heavy and less non-engine and more stuff like talents, more stuff to just like let my deck flourish even more, because we'll see in some of these videos that the water deck did insane with just engine cards, with very little non-engine. And then also, and I also didn't play Ice Jade Ran, because my issue with Ran is I think it's a phenomenal card, and there's no doubt in that. And it in theory, it's in theory, and in practice, it is it's basically a one card combo. Whether it's Lancia or Gamir or Chinning, or it's a link to right away, and it discards your cards and it provides board presence, and it also dodges Detonator because you can go like Ice Jade, and you can go like Ice Jade, discard a water. That activates in hand though, so Detonator can't pop it, and then when it hits field, it resolves all one effect, and then you make Gamir right there, and then you have like full protection, and that is cool. And so in maybe there's reason to play Ran, and maybe I'll try it out. It doesn't sound bad in that matchup for sure. I just felt like, especially like with the Deep Sea King build, you really need to have your Mermail and Atlanteans available. And since Ice Shade isn't either of those, it's just you need to have an Ice Shade, or you need to have a Mermail or Atlantean to be able to discard with your Shrine, so that way you can get to your Deep Sea plays. Especially because since we're playing so many hand traps, the actual amount of waters you're opening is like kind of minimal at times. You're either opening all engine, or I was opening like all hand traps and then just a couple water cards, and those water cards have to be able to synergize. And while Rand does synergize with like the discard effects, it does not synergize with the Shrine. And so with that, I decided to not play for this locals. I actually didn't miss it at all, which is crazy. But I'd acknowledge at least like the detonator scenario. So I guess the question is our deck already good enough in a detonator? Do I even need to consider that card? Who knows? Like Ice Shade Ran, like Gamir is a different story. But yeah, Ran, I don't know. I go back and forth with. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I won't. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so we're gonna get into round 1 today. Enough rambling over here. So these first 2 games are both game 1s of each of us taking turns going first. It's content. I have it, so I figured I might as well show it. This is versus Ryzeal, pure Ryzeal, and this guy's also pretty fresh and new to the deck. So I don't know if his plays are like on point or whatever, but it's also like, this is not like official. This is just like, hey, I want to see. This is my first game against Ryzeal, and I'm like, so I just want to see what the deck looks like, how it feels when I play against it. So that's what we're getting into here. But yeah, so we'll just start diving in. I go first here. And I'll be honest with you guys, I did not do good at catching my hands and catching like my sighting. It's just not it. It's just like I was too focused, too in the zone to like really think about it. And I would think about it late sometimes. I would show, but yeah, it wasn't good. So we go first here. We open a handful of waters, and we have Prulia and we have Ghost Ogre in hand as our non-engine. So he shotguns the Fluros right away, and so when he does that, I'm like kind of debating what I want to do here. And I don't know exactly what his hand, but I know that with Prulia is strong versus pure, and so I know I can draw into more non-engine. Oh man, this Dragoon Search, this is like already a misplay. Oh, he ashes it. Okay. Never mind. We accept this. So I was hoping to get an infantry off of this Dragoons, and then my plan was actually I figured I have the 2 non-engine available. This deck can't kill me, so I'm gonna shrine my pike. I'm gonna add Taze to hand, and I'm just gonna pass play, because I can kill this deck on the crackback, and I have Ghost Ogre for the Duo Drive, and I have Prulia, and like Perulia's bound to draw me, it's bound to draw me something. So we just kind of like, we have him take the challenge here, and I don't know what to do in these scenarios. Let me know what you guys think here. If there's like nothing going on my side, do you want me just to play out the videos anyways? And like just try and talk over something while it's going on, or do you guys want me to skip to like when I'm interacting or when it's back to my turn and just describe what happened during their turn? Let me know in the comments or whatever, because I don't really know what to talk about right now. Like the game's just kind of going. I'm not really doing too much. One thing I can say is, so obviously I'm just waiting for the Duo Drive. I know that I Ghost Ogre that, and that's a big deal. And then I'm thinking, I can draw on the Nib at any time here. I can draw on the Ash, I can draw on the Imperm. I'll be just fine. Like he can't do enough to me. And so yeah, he does the Duo Drive play. I'm just like, this is my first time actually reading it on face value. So yeah, I'm checking. I'm like, yep, this is a valid Ghost Ogre right here. Clears him out pretty well. And then he's shuffling up like he's gonna pass his turn, but he is not gonna pass his turn. His tactics. So this tactics definitely did not scare me, because I had no non-engine in my hand currently. But yeah, so he does the draw 2. He grabs an extender, gets Bonfire, which is great for him. I found out that all the Ryzeals can continuously special summon themselves from hand. So like if you have like ice in your hand, you can special ice and then do another one, you can special that one too. That's crazy. I didn't know you could do that. I love the specials and like their effects are once per turn, but of course it's not. Why would it be? So he's just going on here, and I also made a mistake here thinking that he already normal summoned when he never did. I think he started with the one that like sends an extra deck monster to grave to summon from hand. But yeah, so I've drawn a few times here. He tries to use the effect of ice here. I say you can't use his effect because you special it. You can only do it on normal. He's like, oh, you're right. Then I'll just normal summon it. And that's fine. I mean, it's not a fun game if we're not doing takesies backsies. You know, I want it to be a real game. Really, like at all times. But yeah, so now I'm just checking to make sure he did normal summon and he clarified. And so I'm drawing a bunch of cards here, and I have not seen any non-engine this whole time, or infantry. I'm looking for non-engine or infantry, and it's not coming up. So we're just continuing on here, and I guess this will be the part where I'm gonna skip a little bit, and you guys tell me if this is yikes or not. So he continues to just kind of like think out his plays. He's summoning force. He gets the detonator. And then he eventually gets, he summons back Duo Drive with the Node. Node summons from the grave. He activates, or maybe he used Plugin to do that. He used Plugin to summon Duo Drive. And now he's finding out how he can OTK me, which I did not think this deck could do, but it's very much trying to OTK me right now. And now here is where I made a big mess up. All right, this is a big misplay, for sure. Well, I just didn't think there was a shot, and there really was a shot. So I didn't clearly realize what this card does, that it doubles the attack of one of his monsters. It doesn't let it attack twice. So I interpreted that incorrectly, and I did not read it. So I thought this card could attack twice, and I was thinking there was no way for me to live here. And so at the end of main phase, I am doing basically a prayer draw for like Nib. And then I'm thinking, okay, I know he has a detonator pop, so I know that if I summon Pike, I know if I use his effect, he's gonna pop the Pike. So I'm only gonna ever have one monster. Now, what I should have done is I should have waited till the battle phase, and I realized I do actually have a monster that could have taken care of. Well, actually, first of all, it doesn't even matter. I wait till the battle phase. I wait for detonator to attack, and then I shrine, discard squad, and summon a monster from deck. And really the correct play would be to probably summon Pike, discard Prince, let him pop the Pike, Prince Engraves effect, revive the squad in defense mode, so the Garrus can't get over it. But yeah, so I literally just let him OTK me there. Like, I don't know what I was doing. This is a warm-up game. This is the first game of the day. I just sat down, I'm like, all right, well, we're getting the rust off. And yeah, so now we do another game one where I let him go, where we have him go first. And we got Teus, Dragoons, Droll, Nib, Prulia. So you know what it's about to be. You know, that's an unstoppable hand, I feel like, versus this deck. Prulia is just gonna give me all the advantage, and then the minute he's done doing it all, I have Nib. And even if I don't get the Nib there, and then I drew Ash on my first Prulia, so we just like Duo Drive's gone. Duo Drive is gone. So yeah, so we'll just kind of like continue on here. He's summoning dudes, getting his extenders. Great, good for him, dude. Gets the Duo Drive, and then we just Ash that sucker. Yeah, we like that. We like that. Now, so now he thrusts, which he has in the main deck. Wild, by the way. I think it was for the Ryzeal trap. That's what he thrusted for, which basically lets him destroy as many monsters I control, up to the number of Ryzeal monsters he controls, and then I think he can banish it from grave and do something. Oh, he just pulled a CR Duo Drive in this box he had, so that was great for him. Happy for you, buddy. And I think he also had another special rarity for like one of the ices, which is really cool too. So his deck is blinged out. It's nice. But yeah, so he's just going here. I'm like chilling. Especially, I know that if he would have crossed out the Ash in the Duo Drive probably. So now I know my Nib is like 100% safe. And there's a Prince draw there, so we just have, you have everything. This is just all the gas I need. So there's the detonator, and then I Nib him, and that's it, dude. He calls end of main, and I Nib him, and he has no further extenders in hand to put up anything on the board, and yeah, that'll do it. That will do it. So I draw for turn. I drew Deep Sea King, which is hilarious. Yeah, love drawing that card. Luckily his board state was not it, so we were just fine. but that is very scary to draw the Deep Sea King. I definitely am gonna be on. I definitely will be playing Abyss Keeper in the extra deck. Just see how that feels. It's not great, but there are some neat little interactions with the Abyss Keeper. Just in the fact that Abyss Keeper can summon the Deep Sea King, and then Abyss Keeper is also. What sucks about the Abyss Keeper is that it's stuck on the field. You can't do anything with it. Well, one thing you can do with it is when they try and target your Deep Sea King with effects, you contribute the Abyss Keeper to negate and destroy, which is awesome. And then if you don't have to do that, you have the Abyss Keeper's effect on field to at least. It's like tribute a fish or banish a fish you control to banish a card your opponent controls. So it's still something. Yeah. So we're checking his hand here. He has no real hand traps. I minstreled him, and now we're just like put the toad on because the minute the toad establishes, oh, there's the imperm, and it's like, all right, well, I know what your last card is. You can't. It doesn't do anything. We just get the Moulin because why not? And then and honestly, like right here is game. Well, we gotta get to do with the nib token, but we were 100% dealing with the nib token. So yeah, those were my little like warm up games, basically against Ryzeal. And now let's get into the first round here. Boop. All right, look at that. We are here with our unofficial round one. So I guess just one stipulation here. I had a bye round one. My opponent did not feel like playing. So I did not get to play against him. So I watched my buddy play Ryzeal here, learning the deck a little bit, and then I'm like, hey buddy, can I grab you for like an unofficial official match? So that's what this is my unofficial round one. And yeah, so against pure Ryzeal, once again, and this is maybe a bad thing with the first. Well, we'll just get into it here. So he wins the roll, and I win the roll. I win the roll, and I go first, and he drops Furos again, which is so tough. But I'm looking at my hand here, and I'm just thinking. I'm thinking I can survive. One of the issues is So I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet. I'm sure there were definitely other lines available. I had a lot of gas in my hand. Like I had Prince, so I had infantry in hand, so I could definitely get to like a Moulin infantry thing to at least have something established. But I had Prulia in hand, and he gave me a tell. He gave me a tell that he needed to draw, and so when I heard that, I was like, okay, you need to draw. I'm not gonna do anything. I have Prulia, so I still feel somewhat comfortable. I'm like, I'm over here thinking, if you really need me to draw that, if you really need to draw that bad, and I had Prulia, it'd probably even out pretty well. I'll probably draw a couple times, and then I'll eventually get something to stop you. Maybe I won't, but this is and maybe this isn't what I should do in a normal game state, but that's why you got to be very careful with the tells you give. Like, you can't get frustrated. You can't say anything. Like, even locals, even those locals, I'm still trying to win. So if you give me a tell that you need to draw, and I have an option like Prulia, I'm just gonna pass. And look at that, he sets a card, passes, and I'm like, great, Prince, and then he imperms it, and I'm like, it takes 2 hand traps to stop the Prince, and even then you're not stopping it because I'm still getting my Dragoon's Grave, and then he drolls me. And I'm like, that was a misplay. Literally, I practiced this deck all week, and then my first opportunity to do it, I had Minstrel as my first search, dude. He does imperm the Prince, so I can't get the Shrine that way. So maybe it's not that crazy that it turned out that way. So actually, I take back. I guess it's not a real misplay. I must have missed that when I was rewatching these. But it's still fine. We have Taste and Squad in hand. It is unfortunate we can't get to the Shrine here, but he did imperm the Prince. So you know what? Actually, that imperm on Prince is pretty gnarly in this version. Well, when you get drolled on the crackback, obviously we were getting the Shrine every way. I summoned Pike off Squad, and I thought it was a misplay, but it really wasn't. It never really mattered what I made, because we were always just doing this, and it didn't matter if it was Dragoons because I wasn't getting a search off. So this is just a Toad. This is just a Toad Lacia play, and I have infantry in hand, and he doesn't know I have infantry in hand. So I have an unknown pop and Nami negate. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. It's again, like, this deck I don't think can kill me. And then with Lacia as well, I have some recursion there. So I think this is okay. And if I'm not mistaken, this technically could be a double pop. No, I don't have shrines. This is the one pop. So he starts with desires, and since I know he's on a brick, I'm taking the desires right away. I'm just putting him on better habit. I grab the taste back off the toad, and now he goes into thrust, and I'm like, okay, so he isn't able to play here. He gets the bonfire, which will allow him to play. But an interesting. So this, I feel like this game could have actually gone a lot longer because I think he has the Ryzeal trap in hand. So this game could have been a little bit more extensive than it ended up being. But he goes. This is what the. So the line this guy goes for is a very what I would consider play to not lose kind of play. When there's basically two play styles. There's play to win and there's play to not die. You know, and one is a very like survivor tactic, and one is a very I see lethal, I'm going for lethal, or I'm whatever offers me the highest chance of success, I will take it. And I feel like the play. Okay, so what he's doing here is he thinks that I'm bluffing a Ghost Ogre on him, so he's afraid to go Duo Drive. Well, I agree. Duo Drive was probably not the play here. The player was probably just Detonator. Probably just go Detonator. And so what was really unfortunate for him is that he does a play that is a play to try and stay alive. And that was not correct in the scenario. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's, there's no faults, but I don't know if that was a fair play to do or not in this instance.
That is disgusting.
But I have the hard infantry in hand. He doesn't know about it. And Lacey's effect isn't negated, which I thought it was for a minute. So now we have the shrine online. The infantry pops him, and now he's just left with basically nothing. I show the hand. It's like, all right, yeah, on to game two, buddy. On to game two. So in the game two, kind of funny. So I'm pretty sure. So you guys saw my main deck, with all the the Emperor Perulia's Nib, Ogre Ash, like those are all cards I want to keep in. So I actually didn't have a lot to side in. I think I maybe sided in Lightning Storms. I may have only sided in Harpy Duster and then like 2 Droplets. And I think I sided out my 1 Minstrel and I sided out my 1 Moulin. And maybe I sided out another card. I don't remember. I do not remember. But what was actually pretty funny was he sided to go second. So I was definitely shocked at that. So I'm actually going second here, and who would have thought? Yeah, so I opened just a full water hand, and we're going second, and he has no Fluros. I have Schiff in hand, I have Squad, Pike, Dragoons, and another card here, and we play through quite a few hand traps. So he ashes the Pike, which really, honestly, is a fair ash, because again, it's stopping my shrine, which is what you want to do. So I think I can't tell what the other card is in my hand. I missed it there. But yeah, so we searched the Megalo off the Dragoons, and I hard opened the shrine. So that was my last card. So that's quite the bomb to open. And so yeah, now we're just shrine into Deep Sea King, and then Squad summons Prince from deck. He Ghost Ogres the Prince. I mean, what is there to Ghost Ogre, to be honest? He probably didn't know where to use it, and really there isn't, like, Ghost Ogre is not a good hand trap into our deck at all, which is awesome for us. We are not complaining about that. But yeah, so I have no Moulin, by the way, no Minstrel, so I can't check his hand, and I can't hand rip him, so I'm just going in blind here. And yeah, we summon the Pikes, and then he nibs us, and we're like, oof, that's tough. But wait, there's more. We have Megalo, and what does Megalo do? Megalo searches Recursion, so Megalo is a good card. And then tell me, guys. There are. We'll just present. This is my sexy play. This is what I call a sexy play. All right. So we're deciding what we're gonna search off the Dragoons. So we search Prince here. Now, what do you guys think the right line is here? I'll give you like 5 seconds, or pause the video and maybe go like, okay, man, what is the most this guy can do right now? Because so my original line of play was, all right, I'm gonna Triana. I'm basically just gonna summon Squad, and I'm gonna make a Gaios, right? You know, like that's what like I do. I don't see a rank 4 here. You can't make a rank 4 because you need to get Prince discarded to summon Dragoons, and you need Triana to summon a 4, but you can't get both those things to happen. So I'm like literally my whole line of play. Like, look, it's squad here. I was not thinking of anything else, and so I go squad effect, discard Prince, summon Dragoons, and then I summon the Dragoons, and I'm thinking, and then I just take 1 second to think about it, and I look, and I don't even know if I actually look at my graveyard. Maybe I just like it just comes to me, but I realize that I had Shift in my hand. And so I go Coral enemy, and then Coral summon Shift, and it's like, what is this? Oh God! And the Porpoise, dude, Porpoise was the card of the day. Summon back, double pike baby, into the Toad play, and then we just you take Bahamut and Coral, and you go into King. So now you can't target the Toad, and then hopefully I put Shift in the right place, and the standby phase. Come on, put it in the right place. Yep, you put it under the targeting zone, so you can't target Shift, you can't target Toad. That's 2 interruptions, but really it's 3 interruptions because I have infantry in my graveyard. So the minute Toad's, yeah, he just scoops it up. You know, what were you gonna do there? You know, he didn't have enough. So now I will say I would still attempt to play it out because you never know what's gonna happen. I don't know I don't know what that Ryzeal does. Like if that Ryzeal sends Detonator, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I mean, yeah, I don't know how that would work out. I mean, it's definitely not enough. I don't think. No, because if that's the one that sends an extract monster, then let's say he specials, activates effect to search, I Toad negate, and then he goes plug-in, summon Detonator from grave, Detonator summons, and then I go Shift, Synchro into Ashcan, and then he can't target it with Detonator, although he can go shit. Well, I also have the infantry, so I don't know. I think he ends up with actually nothing. There's not enough for him to do here. So even if he like does play it out and everything goes through correctly, I don't think he has enough. But yeah, so that was my little sexy play there that I was very proud of. More fun content to come here, right, dude? Like the next match, I don't think had like the craziest like interactions and lines or anything, but the round after was a very like, oh, what's the word? It was a very just like cathartic match to be able to have and just like do so well against. And then the one after, oh, I cannot wait to show you guys this last round. This last round goes so hard. But yeah, so that was our first round against Pure Ryzeal. Went pretty well, I might say so myself. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if it was played correctly, but I will tell you guys one thing though. So my buddy who played Rescue Ace, he is picking up Pure Ryzeal, and he might play like a Bestial something version of it or whatever, maybe like a budget Fiendsmith. We're kind of leaning towards just the Bestials, like better to counter the meta than to join in at this current moment for the upcoming regional. But I'm going to get a bunch of test games versus Ryzeal. We'll really get to see how the two decks line up. Obviously, he'll be learning the deck too during all that, so, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. But it's good practice for us. It's good practice for me. It's good practice for him. And I'm going to record as many matches as I can of that, so look forward to that too. That's this Saturday. We're supposed to be hitting up and doing those matches. And he picked up Fluoros, so I'm gonna get Fluoros every game. I'm gonna have to learn how to play around that card. So yeah, more really cool content to come. I'm really excited. I will say, guys, I have not been so excited to play this game in a while. Like it's a good time for Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a good time for water players. The format is so nice. So nice. Just like I watch a lot of DB matches too. It's every game seems like it can be winnable for either side. I will say I'm afraid of Malice. I don't know. I have not had to deal with Malice yet, and so that one is a scary one. It's not a shifter deck, but it's a really good shifter deck. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, we can decide just throw a Lancey out there and make them skip their turn. But yeah, we'll see. So that's it for now, guys. We'll tune in for the next match tomorrow. So other than that, peace.